Alright, so it's senior year, and I'm in wrestling for the first time. It's 2012. I'm wrestling for the first time since 7th grade, so I'm out of practice quite a bit, right? And you know, I remember some of the technique and some of the moves to where I can hold my own, but at the same time, being that many years out of wrestling type of cardio, you're not like physically, you have some catching up to do, right? Well, it was my first meet, and not only was it my first meet, but my girlfriend was there. She was cheerleading at the side of the mat, right? So it was a home meet, and my lungs were not ready. But that pride that takes over when you have your girlfriend there, which is I'm sure it's the same way for girls if you have your boyfriend there one day, Ember, at your games. I had total disregard for where my lungs and my cardio was at, and I was throwing that kid like a rag doll for the first like 40 seconds of the match. And then I almost had him pinned, and really I just needed to apply a little more pressure, and I would have won. But at that point, I just totally ran out of gas. There was nothing left, no air left in the lungs, nothing, and I could not. He totally turned it around because I was done. So after another 20 or 30 seconds, or maybe it was the next round, they stood us up and we started round two. He did win because I was out, and not only was I out, but when I was done, I could not breathe. I was gasping for air, and I took my inhaler like 2 or 3 times, and it didn't seem to be helping. I almost was about to ask somebody to take me to the ER to get me some oxygen, but I recuperated. But I say that to say I learned a limit for my body that night. I learned, and that dictated the rest of that wrestling season. The only times I ever did well is if there was a kid who had absolutely no idea what they were doing, or if their cardio was worse than mine, right? I was so scared to get to that limit or even close to it because it was so, it's scary when you run out of breath and you can't catch your breath again, right? But later on, looking back, I always thought, man, I kind of look back on it with regret because I wish I'd have spent the rest of that season testing that limit, pushing that envelope in practice, and building my lungs and my fitness to a place in practice that hard line of my limit was much higher than it was before. But I was so scared of that limit that I didn't want to push that. And I wish I have. Right? So remember, this whole fatherhood series, this whole, With Love Dad, I want to teach you guys not just lessons that I hope that I as a father could be teaching you in a more conventional setting, but I want to use the actual struggle I'm going through to get to you guys as the teaching mechanism whenever I can. So in this scenario, what's my point here? My point is that at 30 years old, I know what it's like to look back and think, I gave up, and, think of it. I recuperated when I ran out of breath. I didn't die. I was okay. And I probably had a lot more gas in the tank the rest of that year that I never, you know, allowed myself to reach my potential. And I've thought, man, if there's something worth fighting for, don't give up when you still got gas in the tank. So with you guys, I've had several people tell me, look, this is eating up your life. It's taking so much from you. Just give up. See your kids when they're 18. But I'm like, if I do that when I still have more left in me, if I run out of money, there's other ways around it. If I end up in jail over this, which is not impossible, not because I'm doing anything wrong either. That's a topic for a different video, or maybe you just need to ask me personally. But I'm not gonna die, right? Does going to jail suck? Does being broke suck? Yes, but I have more left in the tank. And I'm not giving up on you guys. How much regret would I look back with if I wait until y'all are grown up and I say, well, I gave up because I tried as much as I could. No. I'm here to tell you, most of the time, when you look around and you say, and your body and your temptations are telling you, you've done all you can, you've spent everything of yourself, it's time to turn in, throw in the towel. You probably, your body, it's trying to protect you, your mind is trying to protect you, but more than likely, you have way more left in the tank. And if there's anything I want to do as a dad is help you guys start off a life and live a life that you don't look back on with regret later on. And if it's for something right or something noble or something respectable or honorable, and you give up short of giving it your all, you're going to look back on that with regret. And I'm going to also tell you, most everything you will win at way before you've actually spent every ounce of what it is that you have in you. So I'm not giving up here on you guys. And whatever you face in the future, I want you guys to remember when your brain, when the people around you tell you it's taken everything from you, you're zapped, you've spent everything of yourself that there is to spend, it's probably a lie. There's more in that tank. Anyway, love you guys.